Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Iona Athletics Podcast, your source for all the latest news about the Iona Gaels. I'm your host, Mike Phillips. I've got a good show for you this week. We're going to be joined in just a bit by Lenworth Lopez from the Iona men's soccer team. The men's soccer team just clinched a spot in the MAC postseason, and right now we are waiting on the seed, but we did get a chance to catch up with Lenny Lopez about his year, how he came to Iona, and what makes him tick in the clutch. I got some great stuff from Lenny. We'll get to that later on. Stay tuned to the end of the show for our look ahead to the week in Iona Athletics, but we'll get everything started with our recap of the previous week, which starts right now. On Monday, October 28th, the Iona golf team placed third at the Metropolitan Intercollegiate in its final fall event of the season. Senior Matt Maraca was a low scorer with a 71+1, tying for fourth individually at the event. Let's skip ahead to Wednesday, October 30th. Iona women's soccer ended the season with a 2-0 win at Ryder. The Gaels got both goals from Faith Preziosi. Iona did dominate this game from the jump. Junior Angela DeChico got her second career shutout, and the Gaels end the year on a positive note. Iona men's soccer, brutal double overtime loss at home against Ryder 2-1. Mauro Bravo did come up clutch in this one, though, scored his 9th goal of the year late in that contest to tie it up. Iona men's water polo lost to St. Francis Brooklyn on Wednesday. The Gaels got hat tricks from Lester Machado and Quinn Lloyd. Let's skip ahead to Friday, November 1st. Iona volleyball lost in 4 sets to Fairfield at Heinz Center. And the Gaels did a great job picking up a set here. The Stags only lost their 3rd set of the season in this match, so the Gaels did give them a fight. Cassandra Patzos had 15 kills, and Jessica Palucci had 19 digs. The Iona swimming program crushed Providence at home in Providence. The men's team beat the Friars 167-113. Jackson Madonia had wins in the 200 breaststroke and IM, setting new school records in the process. So Jackson Madonia putting himself in the Iona record books. The women's team had a dramatic 156-132 victory as well. Rookie Megan Patterson had new team records and wins in the 100 and 200 meter backstroke events. And we'll go ahead to Saturday, November 2nd, and the domination continues for the cross-country program. We spoke to a couple of them on the program this year. We spoke to Coach Joe Pienta in our first episode. We spoke to Jack Hopkins last week. The men's cross-country program wins its 29th straight MAC championship. 29. That is the longest D1 conference championship winning streak in the NCAA. Ahab El Sandali crossed the finish line first, and he led what was a perfect team score for Iona. And speaking of Joe Pienta, the team director, he was named the MAC Coach of the Year. Iona women's cross country also victorious. They won their 4th straight crown, the 14th in the last 15 years. Junior Egle Morianete became the first female runner in MAC history to win 3 straight individual championship titles. Iona men's water polo lost 2 conference games in Boston. The Gaels nearly rallied back for a win against MIT, but came up just short, losing 11-10. Andrew Brzovic had a team-high 5 goals, while Justin Ginsburg and Herman Rodriguez had 2 goals each. And we'll go to the other game of that day. The Gaels lost to number 9 Harvard 16-7. Lester Machado led the team, had 2 goals in the game. Men's soccer clinched the playoff berth Saturday, won on senior day at home against Marist 2-1. Goals and assists from Josh Plimpton and Najim Romero in that game. And this is the 3rd straight year the Gaels have been in the postseason action. Finally, we'll talk about our basketball exhibitions at the Heinz Athletic Center. Iona men's basketball won against Mount St. Vincent 112-79. Isaiah Washington had 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists in his Gaels debut. Tawana Agee had 20 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks. EJ Crawford scored 23 on 50% shooting, so a lot of big numbers offensively for the Gaels there. Iona women's basketball also won their exhibition game. They won against Kutztown 76-70. Cheyenne Mawai led the team with 18 points, and the Gaels pulled away late with a 19-0 run in the second half to get some separation from Kutztown there. Finally, let's go to Sunday, November 3rd. Iona men's water polo dropped a 17-12 decision to Brown in the weekend finale. Brett Hofer, Herman Rodriguez each had 3 goals for the Gaels. And volleyball dropped a heartbreaker to Quinnipiac at the Heinz Center. The Bobcats beat the Gaels in 5 sets. J.V. Smith, team best 17 points, 14 kills, while Julia Thomas had a new career high with 8 blocks. And that will do it for your weekly recap of the Iona Gaels action. There's a lot happening last week, a lot to come this week, but we'll get to our interview with Lenny Lopez right after this.
It's Lopez versus Savoni. And Lopez. It's saved by Savoni. The rebound goes back in. Lenny Lopez off of the rebound gives Iona the lead. 3-2 with 50 seconds to go. His 7th goal of the season and a big one there for Iona.
All right, we are back on the Iona Athletics podcast. Joining us today, one of the top goal scorers on the Iona men's soccer team, who is currently in second place in the MAC standings. It's Lenny Lopez. Lenny, welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm glad you came in here, and you guys had a very fun year. You guys are a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, man, we're having a good year. We feel like this is the year that we're gonna go far in the playoffs and possibly win the MAC championship.
Yeah, we'll get into you guys in just a bit. I want to start getting to know you a little bit more. So, can you tell me how you first got into soccer?
My dad. My dad was born in Jamaica, and as you know, Jamaica soccer is the #1 sport there. So ever since I was little, he goes to the park every Sunday with his friends, and I've been going with him every Sunday since about maybe 4 or 5. And I've been playing. I've been wanting to play, watching soccer, and it's always been a dream just to be on TV playing soccer. And I fell in love with the sport.
Yeah, did you have a favorite player growing up, or somebody who you wanted to try and model yourself after?
Oh, definitely. My favorite team is Arsenal, so when I was younger, that's when Thierry Henry was there, and Thierry Henry was just my idol. Played the same position, forward, and I just wanted to score goals like he did. He did it for fun, so I just wanted to be like him.
So let's get into Iona a little bit. So why did coming to Iona appeal to you?
So I went to a showcase back in my senior year of high school. I was playing Gotchi Academy, and I got an email from Iona, and I came on a visit. I spoke with Coach Hamilton, and I fell in love with the school. I live in Queens, so it's not too far from here. So I'm a person that likes being home. So even though I stay on campus here, it's easy for me to go home. So being so close, a Division I school, and the way how they play, his philosophy as a team, and how they play and the type of players that they bring in to make it more of a family, it really caught my eye, and I knew that I wanted to come here.
All right, so let's go to you, because you obviously have a great history. You come through late in games with these huge goals. Like last year on senior day against Monmouth, you score late. Back on against Niagara, October 23rd, you had the goal in the 90th minute to win the game there. So what do you think just makes you feel like I can step up in these big moments and come up with these huge goals?
First, it just comes from the confidence that I get from my coaches, and teammates, because without that, then you really don't have confidence. You can have self-confidence, but without having the support from your teammates and your coaches, then you won't really have it. So, stepping up in those moments, it just came from having that confidence in myself and having the confidence from my teammates and my coaches, because penalty I scored against Monmouth, I talked to my coach after the game, and he's like, I knew you were going to score. I didn't have any doubt. So, hearing that just makes me feel like I can step up in any moment and win the game for my team. That's the most important thing, is to step up and win the game for my team. So, yeah.
Yeah, you've done it a couple of times here, and this team is very diverse in terms of scoring. We've had 9 different guys score goals this year. So what do you think makes it work so well that you can get contributions from pretty much everybody on the roster on the offensive end?
I mean, our philosophy is that if you're here for a reason. So you're here, you can play. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman, senior, sophomore, junior, it doesn't matter. So we have a philosophy, it's like if somebody goes down, the next person is ready to step up no matter what, no matter if it's the 80th minute, no matter if it's a playoff game, championship game, regular season game, preseason game, we're all ready to step up at any moment. And coach instills that in us, and that's our philosophy.
Yeah, it's a great philosophy to have. You guys have gotten great results from, particularly at home, because you guys have been great at Mazzella Field for the past 2 years. So why do you think that this group has become such a great home field team at Mazzella?
I mean, as a soccer team, matter of fact, any team in sports, I mean, you love playing home in front of your friends. You go away to a lot of schools where, you have some kind of support, some parents that are able to make it out if it's not too far. But, being home in front of your friends, that just gives you an extra boost. Like, I can't really describe it. Like, you have to be in that moment, For example, the game against Manhattan, we had to come down from 1-0 down against a tough team, and without the crowd, it would have been 10 times harder because with the crowd pushing you, screaming, cheering you on, it just helps. It really helps. It really helps.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it feels like you guys, especially late in games, you're able to feed off that crowd. Especially you guys, several times you've come back very late in the second half, scored these tying goals, winning goals. I mean, I feel like the crowd definitely has to help with that.
Definitely, 100%. 100%.
All right, and you guys are right now, as we record this, you guys are currently in second place in the MAC. You're on pace to host a playoff game for the second straight year. What would it mean for you guys to build off of last year when you had the playoff game you lost to Ryder, to actually be able to win a home playoff game as well this year?
You know, that would be a huge accomplishment, but that's just not where we want to end. You know, we just don't want to win one playoff game home and you know, we celebrate that. No, we want to go farther. We have bigger goals, and hosting a playoff game, as I said, the crowd is a huge factor and it's a huge boost, so we'd love to host a playoff game. So these next 2 regular season games are very important, so we make sure we have that second place spot and to host the playoff game, and we got to win that one, and we move on to wherever we play. If we got to travel somewhere, we're going to go and take care of business.
Yeah, we were recording this on Thursday. Lenny refers to the 2 games we still have. They have Marist coming in here on Saturday for senior day, and then they go to Monmouth next Wednesday. Lenny, best of luck going forward in the playoffs.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, and that will do it for our interview with Lenny Lopez. For the full interview, check out our website, youtube.com/ICGales. Again, our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ICGales.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you.
All right, it is time to look ahead to the upcoming week in Iona Athletics. It's a little calmer, fewer days, but there are some big events upcoming. Let's start with Wednesday, November 6th. Men's soccer and Lenny Lopez in the regular season finale at Monmouth. That game has big playoff implications, could have an impact on potential seeding for Iona if they advance to the postseason. Volleyball will be taking on St. Peter's at 7 at the Hines Athletics Center, and men's water polo will be at Fordham. Let's go ahead to Friday, November 8th. Both the Iona men's and women's swimming teams will be taking on Monmouth at 4 at the Hines Athletics Center. Let's go ahead to Saturday, November 9th. The volleyball team will be taking on Manhattan at 1 at the Hines Athletics Center. Men's water polo will be at Princeton, and our first regular season action for the Gaels basketball teams. Men's basketball will be at LaSalle. Women's basketball will be down in South Carolina to take on Winthrop. And last but not least, Sunday, November 10th, we have potential playoff action for the men's soccer program. If they are playing in a first round game, it would be on Sunday the 10th. That information is still to be determined. Be sure to check out our website, www.icgales.com, for full playoff information for the men's soccer program. And that will do it for this episode of the Iona Athletics Podcast. Again, check out our website, www.icgales.com, for full game times, schedules, all the stuff you could possibly want to know about Iona Athletics. You can also follow us on social media. Just search for our handle at ICGales across all major social media platforms. There's a brand new episode of the podcast coming up next week. Until then, keep fighting the good fight, Gael Nation.